Hello YouTubers, Reloading Bench back with you once again, and this is a pickup of not necessarily where we left off, but now that the lathe is working again, um, it's a nice little storage box that I might figure out how to keep in storage. You may recall, and then again maybe you do not, this is a wood lathe tooling rest. So you have your wood lathe tool, and I'm assuming maybe it's this way. I do not know. Maybe it's either, depending on what you're trying to do. Yeah, I don't know. So we'll learn that. I don't plan on doing a whole lot of wood turning on my mini lathe that was primarily acquired for metal, but to be able to is kind of cool. So this was a nominal investment, as a number of these tools from Chine are. So I figured, why not? And I picked up some more. Oh, we got another certificate inspector, Mr. More Mrs. characters. And I decided to pick up some more of the quick change tool post holders. I don't think you can have enough of those for favorite specific tools. We'll see how gunky that is. Looks pretty, yeah, very, very wet, but very clean. So I'd rather have it wet than sticky gunky. And this was not sticky gunky. But let me get my hex key. My fave hex key, which I have identified with a blue tape because it's the one that's the go-to so frequently. I sure hope this fits. I was assuming it would. And we all know some of my assumptions have gotten me into trouble as of late by, you know, how some people shop at the grocery store by not reading the labels but just looking at the picture. We have family members who do that. And, ooh, talk about a tight fit. Yeah, okay. We are going to see how much meat we can get on, the most meat possible on, let's see, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to center this as much as possible. Center in the sense of, so this won't matter. How high or how low it goes will not matter. At least I don't think, because this is not metal, so it's not spindle based. Metal in the sense of having to be zeroed. And I took someone's suggestion as I was looking for schematics. I don't even know what that red stuff is. I was looking for schematics when I was trying to do my spindle drama saga thing. And what turned out, or what I found, interesting turn of events. I'll just put that in there kind of hand tight for right now. What I found was some recommendation on burn-in. You know how with a 1911 they always tell you, you know, first 500 rounds, especially with a less bear, that tight fit. And by the way, I have oiled this considerably. Whoops, didn't want to do that. Oh, so we have one in the chamber now. You know, when you have a less bear or other 1911 that might be a little tighter fit, the general rule of thumb is 500 round break-in, which nowadays with the price of ammo is pretty ridiculous. But there was a recommendation to burn in the spindle, you know, exercise the motor. So I did 4 different speeds, 500, 1,000, about 17 to 1,800, and then 20, almost 2,500, for 3 minutes each, forward and reverse, to make sure things were solid, and they appear to be solid. So I think we're good there. Let me move this over to the lathe and take the camera over. So I just assumed that that was correct. We might be looking at it like this. And the reason I say that is because I thought that was a little loose. The reason I say that, I'm going to get gloves because it's cold and my fingers are raw. My hands are raw. Doing too many projects, and I will catch my hand on something and bleed as I keep cutting myself, and it's irritating. All right, so I just assumed that this would be the best way to put this, and as I'm quickly seeing, nope. So if there's a round thingy thing in here, we're about 2 inches off. All right. So, see what happens when you assume. I remember that conversation vividly in basic training in 1983, when my drill instructor was in my face at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, in the hot summer August heat. God, that was a hot summer. Brutal, brutal summer. All right, so now methinks, okay, brutal, brutal hot summer. Fond memories. Good stuff. Just catching the edge there, yeah. Just catching the edge. Okay, so that looks a little, and that makes kind of sense, because now this is, I was wondering about this, because now this faces me, and that makes me nervous, so let me bust out the bamboo, because Murphy's Law says something's going to happen there. So again, I'm not sure. I'm going to say that this side faces the work because, you know, it's flat. And again, depending on what you're trying to do with the work, let's get that started. So that's exactly why I put the bamboo there. So again, so depending on, you know, what you're doing, how high, how whatever. I know nothing about wood turning, and I know next to nothing about metal turning too. So I'm not trying to fool anybody here. I would probably leave this here. So, assuming this is a wood turning tool, you know, well, and by the way, I don't have any wood turning tools either. I didn't even think about that when I was getting this. Again, this was on a whim just to see if it would work, but kind of cool because now I can turn wood without, you know, trying to turn something on wood with freehand, not going to work. So by having the rest and being able to, you know, yes, we got sound effects, or whatever, and wood will make a mess with the the dust and the everything else. But that's kind of cool. You got to admit, it's different. It's interesting, and yet it takes the lathe into one more direction with turning goodies in wood. Goodies in wood. All right, that I think that does it. Let me keep the dust out. And for those of you who are observant, you'll see that I've got, well, maybe you can't see. I've got Beaver orange on the ends. So that, my garage gets really dusty. I do a lot of different stuff. And there's no shortage of dust, especially when the saws, the table saws are in action, or the whatever, sanders. I've got, bench portable, different kinds of sanders, and old Craftsman stuff. And the garage just seems to attract that dust pretty amazingly. So we now have wood turning capabilities. Now it's time to go look online for some wood turning tools, maybe a little starter set. That is it for now. YouTubers, Reloading Bench back with you once again, and we have a box that I've peeled all the labels off of so that we can open and take a peek. Another addition to the channel. But which hobby is this for? Is this something for the new mini mill? Is this something for the lathe? Is this something for reloading? Is it something for restoration or other? Yeah, let's just say or other. So before I open this, or attempt to open it, it's well sealed. I will say that. Good sealing. Too good. It's like, come on now. Okay, these are those kind of tabs. Obviously the box is going to be thrown away pronto. Wow. That's some serious, come on now. Come on now. Ooh. Ooh, Nelly. All right. All right, so I'm going to give you a hint. A hint. In 1 second. Be right back. I should tell you everything you need to know. So for those who recall or not, had it in backwards. I'm going to do something about that. I have black. I've had this for a while. Maybe I was touching up something on some piece of metal. I don't even know if I used it actually. In any case, this is my wood turning rest for my mini lathe that is now working again. But what must you have in order to turn wood? You must have, our buddies at Beaver. You must have, I love how stuff is just almost there, but not quite. You must have, this is actually good styrofoam. I'll probably keep these two pieces. I don't know. Family called me a pack rat. Styrofoam can be good at times, especially when you're, demoing something, and that's good. I wouldn't call this styrofoam. I'd call this foam padding. So I would say that's valuable, because if I go to buy this at some place like the box selling store, Wally World, or wherever, it's probably like $2 to $5 a sheet. So that's a keeper. All right, let's see what our friends at Viver have. Viva Las Vegas. That was pretty bad. All right. So this was, I can't remember the price. Like, I want to say $25 or something. And for what you get, because I saw a bunch of, you know, turning tools in my price range. Again, do I know what I'm doing with wood turning tools? Absolutely not. So there is no reason to buy Ferrari wood turning tools when I don't have a clue. So my clue is going to be, you know, turning something on the lathe with wood, creating an absolute mess. But what drew me to this, there were three things. Obviously, price. Price is always part of the equation. I don't care what anybody says. Price was part of the equation. And then, you know, some tools, and I'll probably show some pictures, you know, as I'm talking. Some tools, for example, had just a straight, it looked like just a wooden dowel, and the head of the actual turning tool, carving tool, I'm going to say carving because it seemed like it was more appropriate for carving, you know, a little tiny head with a tiny body. Whereas this, you know, I can hold on to this. This has got some meat to it, and it's got some length. So again, you know, if you had a little tiny dowel with a little tiny piece of metal, you're pretty close to everything. Whereas this, you know, hey, maybe you're not as close, but the fact that the tool head section was, or area, or whatever you want to call this, the metal portion was much larger than some of the others. Again, for the same price. And then the design of the handle was just feels comfortable, looks comfortable. So I'm going to say the design, so price. Then I'm going to say design of the actual tool itself, the handle, the size of the metal area, and then the case. You know, when you're looking online, if you don't see a case, just like my reaming tools, you're not getting a case. So unless it says something in the description, where this was a, how many pieces was this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 pieces of tools I have no idea how to use. I don't even know if it talks about the different types of cuts. But again, just like with the metal lathe, the mini lathe, I'll look online and see what each tool is supposed to do and how to use the tool. So I thought this was kind of cool. The wooden case, nice bonus. I mean, nice touch. It's, you know, it's cheesy to some degree. This is actually better. This is nicer than the top. It's cheesy to some degree, but again, at the same time, you know, the cheese factor is, you know, you get what you pay for. And I don't have any clue what I'm doing with wood turning, but we'll make that a new portion of the channel with learning. And there will be some more as we experiment with these particular tools. So I thought that was kind of cool. Price-wise, you know, quality, I'm not going to speak to the quality. And again, anything, you know, as a hobbyist, as a channel, as a machinist, learner, wannabe, junior, nobody, this is probably right up that alley in terms of appropriate tools. So good stuff, Viver. Viver to the rescue again. Take care, folks.